So he said whatever. So then I guess we can just do the maintenance and upkeep, because I have notes.
Okay, perfect.
Notes that's professional, you know.
Yeah, maintaining. That's a recurring topic for us.
It's a great word as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's smart. We do that, and then we start like, who are you and where are we?
Yeah. Tell us a little about your role here at Allah and that kind of thing.
And then we see how
it goes.
Yeah. It would be rude of you to go and do other things. So even though if you go 2 hours, just so you know. No. We'll try and keep it like.
I just stand up and leave in the middle of the conversation.
As long as it's interesting, I think the length doesn't matter.
Oh, great timing too. Like the sun is about to pop out a little.
Sure.
We're on the rooftop, just chilling.
Yeah. Do you want to do your thing? Like, where are we? And before that, I'm just gonna, because the batteries have a tendency to.
Yeah, double check everything.
That's good. I like the triple checking.
Yeah, that's good.
Do your thing.
How do I intro again? Oh, yes. Welcome to the Halfway Café. It's a podcast all about disc golf course design. And today the tables have turned. Usually Stian and I are welcoming disc golf tourists at Lille Leland in southern Norway. But today we are the disc golf tourists here at Ala Disc Golf Center in western Sweden. We have a special guest today. Simone is with us from Ala. And we're going to learn about this disc golf course destination. Number 2 in the world, the white course.
Correct.
And number 7 or 11 or something for yellow?
11, correct.
11,
yes.
yeah.
2 courses in top 11.
So this is where people come from all over the world to experience this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just the other day, I think 2 days ago, I had one guy from Colorado, 2 guys from Oklahoma that came here for the sole purpose of playing disc golf. Wow. And it's quite ironic because they could travel all across the world, but the last 6 kilometers up from the E45, they couldn't get here because we don't have any public transport up here.
Oh, wow.
So we kind of helped them out, and I remember driving them back to the train station, for instance. But that's just one example of people traveling all across the world just to get here, which is pretty humbling, actually. Very fun.
Maybe you get this artist you have here to make like a wooden bus or something. Like a
sure.
bus.
You're referring to Michel or Michael from Austria?
Switzerland, yeah.
Switzerland.
But yeah.
Because some of the features here are very beautiful. There's wooden features on the course.
Yes. I mean, that's one thing. If you just jump right into it, you know?
Yeah.
The details of the woodwork is something that is the spirit of Allah in a way. That comes from when it all started, with the previous owners doing some great woodwork. And then we try to pick up the torch and continue that legacy in a way. So we do some stuff ourselves as well out on the course. But for instance, this behind us here is work of Michel or Michael, as Mr. Michael, as I call him, from
Mr.
Switzerland.
Michael Mann.
As well as the big bird, the tee of hole 1, all the white. I think some of you know what it is at least.
I will probably be cutting to these images now.
Nice. Yeah, that's iconic. The hole 1 shooting through the beautiful sculpture.
Sure, yeah.
You added that this snow last year?
Last year.
So and this is like kind of feathers, like playing on that same theme?
In a way, yeah. You can say that. It can be whatever you want it to be. It can be beams as well, or something like that. But
it's really nice. Simple, but beautiful, because it's wood from here also, probably.
Yes. We have 60 hectares. I don't know what that is in acres, but it's quite big at least. 60 soccer fields-ish.
Yeah, okay.
And 3 courses, 5 layouts. It's a lot of ground to cover, just when it comes to maintenance, but also there's a lot of material to be used. And that's what we do. So mostly, most of the wood we use for these kinds of projects are from this actual facility, which is pretty cool.
Okay, wow. And that was the thing happening back in 2013 when it started too, right? Was it milling? What's the word? Sawmill? Getting the wood from the land itself.
Yeah, I mean, there is we have a sawmill up and running.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So jealous.
Yeah, that we're jealous of that because
But
we're gonna develop
that's also something we need to. I just can see so many uses for it. You can do your own dimensions. You can.
And that's just one aspect of how we're inspired when we come to a place like this.
Sure.
And just we talked about that in our second episode about motivation.
Yep.
And what motivates us as course designers and maintainers.
Yeah, and we had something from you there about motivation.
I sent in a text that you asked me for a question or two. Yeah.
And so seeing some of these details, right, is inspiring and motivating to us. All of a sudden, we're like, wow, we got to do something like this. So you came back online in 2022 and resurrected the course after a couple years.
But maybe go back even further, like
Sure.
a little backstory on who you are.
Sure.
Paul asked me, what's his last name?
Yeah, help us.
That's not easy.
And I told him, he was like, no, I'm just going to say Simon.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So who are you? How did you came to be one of the other people?
Yeah, it's a great question. My name is, so I usually use Simon in international terms. So Simon and my last names I have two of them. So they are Terbrandt Säfström.
Terbrandt Säfström.
Yeah.
Say that.
Terbrandt Säfström.
Nailed it. You got it, man. It's not as easy as black, I suppose. But yeah, I'm a disc golfer since 8 years back. I started a while back when I lived in Norrköping, another town here in Sweden. It started from there, and I've been trying out a lot of different sports throughout the years, but never got this hooked to a sport as disc golf. I guess you can relate to that. Former basketball player, for instance, here. Me too, actually. But then very addictive sport in a way, and it's like I usually compare disc golf to a friend that you want to take care of in a way, and you also want to introduce to other friends in a way.
I have this new friend.
Yeah. Exactly. You have to meet him. It's very, very pleasant. And you kind of want to take care of it in a way. So, I mean, I embrace the sport with all my heart, and, it's competing, it's doing a podcast of my own, which is at the moment not much happening, though, because of families and new jobs and everything. But anyway, so and then I helped my other colleague Eric out with his other company, GG Events, and do events and run tournaments there. And then I represent Innova as an ambassador, and I do this full time and a little bit more than that, all the disc golf centers. So I mean, it's 200% disc golf basically for me, and I love that. So it's pretty cool. I'm very glad to have disc golf as such a big part of my life.
Yeah, and how did this all adventure start for you?
Oh yeah, that was one.
What was like the
what door opened? Yeah.
Yeah, which yeah.
Yeah, I worked as an environmental consultant for 7 years, and it was great fun, and I love doing that, working with environmental, cultural heritage and all that stuff. But the role as a consultant was getting kind of tiring in a way, and at the same time, this opportunity came that the facility was up for sale, and Vincent and Eric reached out to me. And because me and Eric had been doing some collaboration before that, and I met Vincent 1 or 2 times maybe, but we didn't really know each other. But they knew they wanted to do something, and me and Eric had talked before about doing finding some kind of course to work together, and then this popped up, and they just asked, and I said, yeah, directly, let's do that.
Yeah, nice.
Sounds fun. And I mean, it's been a lot of work, and but I mean, it's very fulfilling and very fun to work with something you really enjoy. So it's pretty cool to be part of this big project.
I like how it sounds like you say yes, and then you figure out later how to get there.
yeah, that's exactly how it was actually. I was very sure that I wanted to try this. I mean, there's pros and cons with everything. I mean, there's some kind of security with working for a big consultant company in a way, but then running your own business together with two others are a lot more scary, but also very, very much interesting and fun experience as well. So I mean, you can't have it both ways, I suppose. So.
No, security and your own
same time.
adventure and motivation. But I feel the same way. It's like I told Vincent yesterday that I would rather spend hundreds and thousands of hours doing something that I enjoy every minute of, trying to build something, and then figure out, no, I want to do something else. Because I have done it for me, and it's instead of doing other things or hobbies or whatever, it's the process and the journey is also enjoyable, you know. It's not like, oh, I want to get to here and then I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's similar.
yeah, of course. Yeah, I like that train of thought. It makes sense.
Yeah, so when we arrived last night, it was kind of cool to see different groups of people having fun. There was a group on the driving range seemingly having like a CTP challenge of their own. People were walking with smiles off of the green of 18, and families were shooting on the blue shorter course and laughing and cheering. And it just struck me at how cool it is that so many different types of people, different abilities of disc golfers can be having a blast here at Alla.
Sure.
And then I was curious about, like, how are they running this place? Like, what are the roles of the people to make this happen, and to make all this magic happen? You know, what's your role? And how does that look?
Well, my role is one that I talked about. That I'm one of the owners of the business running the disc golf center. But my hands-on role is more that I am the course manager. I would say that I'm the on-site guy to see that things are running smoothly and in charge of the bigger projects out on the actual facilities. I would say building tees, bridges, everything like that. I do more of that than the running maintenance, I would say. This time around in one way, but I'm also partly in charge of doing that as well. So I mean, me and Eric take turns of helping each other out and seeing what needs to be done, and that is done basically. And but I really love working out on the course. It's very, very nice to do something and see the finished product in a way, and then see people react from it. It's very cool. So I like that. I guess you guys can relate to that as well, you know. For instance, the halfway cafe, as we I'm now experiencing in one way.
yeah. That's like the uniqueness and personality, I guess, which I love when I come to other courses. Just seeing, for instance, the bench outside, there's a little guy sitting on it. You talked about the spirit of Alla. I don't know if that's like the embodiment, and if that is actually the spirit of Alla, but it kind of just those little, there's just something, I don't know, magical is a kind of fitting term, I would say. Like it warms me in a way.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain, but
it's always a balance working here at Alla to preserve the spirit of Alla, or the magic of Alla, if we call it that, and still also progressing as the sport grows in a way, you know, and trying to step lightly, but also, you know, being at the what do you say when you're a pioneer within the sport?
Yeah,
I guess,
you're at the forefront.
Yeah, forefront is a good word. Yeah.
Of like course design.
We want to be, at least, you know, and if you look at the big perspective as well, we call it the disc golf center for a reason. We want it to be, you know, the entire package of what you need and want to do, and find out new things that you can do within the sport, and how to, you know, present it in a good way, in an all way, you know. So it's really fun. And for instance, me, Eric, and Vincent usually do these walkthroughs on the facilities to see what we can improve, how we can improve it, what are we lacking here, are we lacking anything. So it's a constant strive towards, you know, doing the next step in a good way and finding out what is missing on the property. Sometimes so much that you kind of forget to look at what we actually achieved, but I guess we need to be better at that.
Yeah. We do that too. We playing the course from time to time is kind of the way we walk through as a team, like your team, and then taking lists.
Yep.
Well, we got to fix the tee on 16, and
Exactly,
we got to add some sand here on the green at 15, and but then there's also this moment where we've finished trimming the fairway and it looks beautiful, and we just stand there for a second next to the tools and just marvel and just because you have to do that too.
Exactly.
It's like
important.
the balance you say. You want to try to appreciate what you've done.
Yes.
And instead of always just being fixated on how we can make it better. So we use that phrase too, like it can always be better.
Yeah.
But there has to be some enjoyment of the work you've done too, I think.
Yes. Yeah, that's important. And I mean, for instance, hosting big tournaments, and you have the Lilla Leland Open, it's called, right?
Or RPM Open.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right. RPM Open at Lilla Leland, and we have our All Open, you know, and as you know, there's a lot of intense work the weeks before, months, sometimes even years before a big tournament. But then hosting the actual tournament, even if it's, you know, very stressful in one way, it's still, you know, harvesting the fruits of what you previously planted in a way. I don't know if you have that saying in English, but we have in Swedish. I guess it makes sense in one way or another at least.
Yeah.
So that's also one thing, you know, to kind of embrace the things you do in a way.
And it's a good way to test the course.
Yes.
I think with bringing, especially if you have a championship layout that you want to, where you want to test the best players.
Yes.
If you're if your course is more suited towards like casual players and stuff, you don't need the big events to test it the same way. But what I mostly like about the events, because as you say, it's stressful, but it's the social part and you get feedback and all of this. But it is that just the test.
Yep.
Especially if you've done some tweaks and you're unsure, but you've asked people and they're giving you advice over the phone or a messenger or whatever, and then you have to kind of see it played, and then this patience comes in.
And I would say that applies to the other courses as well. I mean, for instance, here, as I said, we have 3 courses of 5 layouts. We have the All Blue that is more for beginners or you know, upshot course for the more experienced players, and the yellow course, which is I mean, an all-around course in a way. You can enjoy it if you're 1000 rated, but maybe it's a little bit easy for you. But aimed towards maybe the recreational or intermediate players, I would say. And I mean, you need to get feedback from those courses as well, from those people. The thing though is that the pro layouts or where the pros are playing, they're always a little bit more. I don't know how to put it. They know what they want a little bit more, I suppose. So it might be more tricky to form those courses in a perfect way and to, you know, make those players satisfied. I think it's tougher than the beginners, of course, but you can still kind of know if they're having a good time or not on the blue course or the yellow course.
But feedback is also a topic for a whole episode, how to take feedback and how you use the feedback and all of this. But it is a good point that feedback on the yellow course and feedback on the white course, it's different feedback, and how you weigh it from what players you get it from is also different. Because you wouldn't take feedback on design on the white course from an inexperienced player that has maybe played 8 courses. But you could take on, or you should get some stairs there or a bridge, but on the design you have to be mindful. I think at least, like, okay, what is the feedback and what's your intention behind giving me this feedback, or how do I ask you to get the feedback I want, or It's
It's a jungle for sure. It is.
Yeah, but those more experienced players are giving more sophisticated feedback and more specific.
Yes.
and last episode we talked with Eli Swanson. He was also here.
Great guy, by the way.
Yeah. Hope he comes back. We'll see him at Worlds maybe. Anyway, but we talked about just behind the camera here. I can cut to this, so you guys who are listening, you're just gonna have to go watch the YouTube. But last episode was greens, and one of them we talked about was your green on 18.
Sure.
Uh,
Island green with the logs around it and a little bit elevated by a small grassy
See,
hill.
this is like experienced podcaster. We're only like 4 episodes in, but you've done it for years. So
And he
he's
describes it
yeah.
beautifully, so even our Spotify listeners know what's happening.
Now you don't
I
have.
won't give you YouTube
We're trying to bring people to the YouTube.
Slow down,
I
buddy.
pulled them back in.
But you said just a mild slope, a wee hill
Yeah,
for the basket
exactly.
to be on, and so Eli brought that up. Just that little bit of elevation was maybe that extra challenge that created so much drama at the end of the Alla Open.
Yeah, exactly.
And watched a couple of top players, and I remember Ricky being over on from our left side of the green.
Circus ledge.
Yeah, and putting that putt into, maybe there was a slight breeze, and it looked great the whole way, and then it just hit the band.
Yep.
And so just that little bit of basket elevation, it's a subtle thing, but it made an exciting difference at the end of the Alla Open.
Yeah, and prior to that, when Nicholas Antela also missed the island by an inch or two, you know,
Yeah.
it was very exciting, and on the FPO side as well, it was great, you know, great drama for both divisions there. So if you haven't seen it, go back and do that.
Yeah, I would definitely watch that.
MDG Media or DGN, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of, well, not greens, but one of the things I remember Rikard Schjøll, your podcast partner, told me, because me and Morten Brenner, we were here right after you bought the place, I think, and you hadn't, all the holes weren't brought back to life yet. And then I played Uspastorp, the neighboring course, which is also a really great course, designed by Camilla and Dan, I think, or Dan.
Yeah.
Same.
I think, both of them.
It's the same feeling when you play it.
Exactly,
So then I told Rikard, who used to be like a guide, pro or something here, teacher.
Yeah, it was holding clinics, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And then he had like he's still really passionate about Ala, like it's always going to be the best. And I said, well, now Uspastorp's my favorite course, and he was like, you have to play Ala with me. You got it, but you haven't seen it yet. You got. And I remember one of the things he said that Camilla and Dan's thinking was there shouldn't be any blind shots. You should always see where you want to put your disc.
That's one of the lovely details here.
It stuck with me, and I've told Paul many times, and I've started opening up. And even if there is you want to land behind something, then at least open up so you can see through, like your hole 11, is it?
Great example. Yeah.
It's you can see the basket, but not. You're never going to throw a disc there.
Exactly.
I guess you could fit it through, and that's one of the things I really like about that idea of no blind shots.
Yeah, I really enjoy that you brought that detail up, because that's one of my all-time favorites as well. And what I always look for when I go to a new course, and that's when it's most important, the first impression as well. If you stand on the tee and you basically don't know where you want to throw, and if you throw there, you don't know if it's a good shot or not until you crest a hill or two. Me and Richard usually talk about that, that you want to be able to do a high five on the tee pad, you know. That's an important thing of disc golf, I feel like. So if possible, always make the baskets visible, I would say. Even on the par fours, if it's possible. Obviously not every basket is visible on all of it, but a lot is. For instance, the par 4 on the yellow course, hole 7, you can still see the basket up on the terrace there. And some other places as well. That it brings joy to playing, I think. So great point.
Yeah, and we have some blind shots, and I've started to think about how we can make them unblind.
Right.
But I guess it's fine. I don't mind a few blind shots as long as there shouldn't be something to miss that you can't see, like a tree you can't see,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
hope I didn't hit the tree,
Yeah,
or
sure.
so that's something I'm kind of mindful of. But now our course is it's our first.
Yeah.
We are building a new one, so we're taking all of our journeys, experience, all of our inspiration, everything, and maybe we bring someone more experienced in to help with the design. So we bring all of the things we've learned into the next project, and I'm so excited. No blind shots, no OB. Well, it's like so many things that I just.
Yeah,
But-
that's
But it makes it so fun to play. When you say, I love this with the high five on the tee, that's such a good point. It's hard to argue against, I feel
yeah.
like.
Shout out to Richard. That was his.
Yeah.
I think his words,
Yeah.
Mr. Shield.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Something else. Yeah, I'm just curious about the new courses. How do you feel like? Are you afraid that you're gonna kind of forget the classic Lilla Leilana that's just gonna overgrow, and are there enough Paul Blacks out there to get
Yeah,
another
yeah.
course?
Is your name
running?
Paul Black?
It's
Do you want to
true.
be a course manager or course manager's assistant?
And of course, maintainanizer.
Maintainance, yeah.
That's what we need.
That's a great word.
Yeah, because
Should have those shirts printed.
in the next couple of years, I want to work on building a short course like your blue one. So we were playing it last night with Stion's boys,
Yeah.
8 and 9 years old. And at about 50 meters, maybe just a little more,
Yeah.
they were able to reach the pin. And usually when we're playing in Leyland, it longer holes, and they're shooting 2 shots to get to the pin. But I could see their joy and excitement
Yeah.
at having
Birdie
a
putt.
birdie
Going too far.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so I'm hoping to work on that and design a shorter course at Leyland for players like that. But Stian says you can't build that until we've maintained this course. How are we going to maintain this other course?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, but it
You need to practice what you preach now, Stian.
But then we also talked about yesterday how, because we've talked about should it be 9, 12, 13, shorter par 4s, blah, blah. But playing this, and I've played the blue many times,
yeah.
but you kind of remember, and then when we were thinking about it, like, and yesterday we said that, well, having it like this, because we have the red layout, which is for like 870 on par,
Yeah.
and but something like this is also way easier to maintain.
Yeah.
It's like maintaining our hole 2, or half
Right.
of our hole, or
Right.
half our par 5 is the same as taking care of this one. You can go through with the trimmers of both of us in an hour, and it's done.
It's basically just whole 2, 3, 4. That's a little bit of,
Yeah.
mowing the lawn, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Okay.
Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So it depends on the terrain, of course. But that's the thing. If you compare, for instance, the yellow woodsy course with the white course, I mean, it's black and white. I don't know how much to do with the fairways. A lot of the woodsy courses, you just have the dirt basically, and I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of nice holes with the grass inside the forest as well. But it's not comparable to the white course, of course.
But to answer your question, if I'm afraid that our existing course is going to be forgotten, or I have thought about it, and my quick fix is to run electricity to every tee pad and have automated mower on every hole.
I strongly recommend it.
It's a quick fix, but expensive fix.
Yeah.
Which we saw here when we pulled up the little robotic mower.
Yes.
That's just
Smart.
doing the fairway while we're just sipping tea.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting idea. Is that working out here?
It's a little bit work in progress in one way. We have a collaboration with Upkeep, which is a local company here that both maintain and sell lawnmowers of different types, and we have it installed on hole. If we're talking about the white course now, hole 10, 18, 1 and 2, and then also the part of the driving range. But since, I mean, you can't, even if we're striving towards it in one way, we can't really compare our fairways to say a regular golf course or ball golf course, as we like to say in disc golf. So there's a little bit bumps here and there, you know, and they get stuck, and then you need to fill it up with soil, and it's a long process. But I mean, for instance, hole 1, I feel like it's great for us to have the robot doing that work, because every time you get here, you know that hole 1 is going to be in great shape. A lot of other courses, you see, they haven't cut the grass here, or yes, they just recently cut it. You know, you don't need to get that aspect of it. You don't need to time the maintenance to get the perfect experience, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is impressive. We've been taking notes now about, okay, we mowed this grass 7 days ago or 13 days ago. This is how long that we have to keep up.
We have a trimmer's log.
Yeah, the trimmer's log. But we could eliminate the trimmer's log if it's being mowed every single day with the robot mower. That's a very compelling idea.
Yeah, and I would highly recommend doing the ones with the GPS, so you don't need to put a wire, because that's a lot of work. And
I have a friend, a colleague in the military who has a farm too far away from where he lives in Oslo. So he needs a robotic mower, and that is a Swedish company. At least he bought it from Sweden, and it has 4-wheel drives, and it's almost like a little, not a tank, but it can get like super steep. And I was thinking about it when you said get stuck in holes, because these I've seen here have 2 wheels and kind of like a wheel in the front. But when we have the 4 wheels and it turns like a tank, you know, like the, it digs into the ground a little bit more.
Yeah,
but it doesn't get stuck. I'll look that up. But I definitely want something that can mow, and we're doing other.
Yeah, you should start small and try to improve it.
I think so. Last year we bought a pull behind big mower for the 6-wheeler.
Oh yeah.
And that also really helps. And it does the grass really well, and it goes into the moss and takes care of some bumps on like some newer paths we start mowing, and it kind of smooths it out a little bit.
Slowly gets easier.
Making it more ready for the robotic one, maybe.
Yeah.
But this brings us into today's topic, which is...
We're just now getting into the topic?
Yeah.
Aye.
We've been touching it a little bit before, I think.
Yeah, which is upkeep and maintenance.
There you go.
Maintainanizing.
Maintainanizing. I'm somewhat of a maintainanizer myself, I would say.
And course design cannot be separated from maintainanizing. These things go together, because you could design a great course, but if you're not mowing the fairway, somebody's going to come and play and have a disappointing experience.
Yeah, that's one part of it. And also you can actually mow the lawn in different ways, I would say, so that both the playing experience but also the visual aspect of the course can differ, which is a little bit interesting. For instance, when we have all open or big competition or so, I would love the rough to be high enough so that you see a clear demarcation between the fairway and the rough, but not tall enough so that you lose your disc, basically. So that's like a perfect amount of height that you want to achieve, I feel like. And sometimes you also want it to be like you have a semi-rough and then a bigger rough outside of it. I mean, it's also very hard to time that if you have 60 hectares and you know, a lot of holes and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just putting out fires, as you know. But I mean, it's nice to strive towards that, to get that visual cool aspect, but also maybe that if you're farther out in the rough, you have a tougher runoff, stuff like that. You know?
Yeah. So you maybe have to throw a standstill because you landed here and not where we designed it here in the fairway.
So there's an aspect of that as well.
But now you're touching on one of my notes, which is where to trim. Is there a difference between how you trim for an event and how you trim the rest of the year?
Yeah, so, kind of what I talked about, yeah.
Your answer would be yes.
Yes.
To challenge the top players, you want to have some rough. Is that what you mean?
Well, it depends on the hole, of course, but
Yeah.
but yeah, a little bit like that. But also, first and foremost, I think it's the visual aspect that you, when you stand on the tee, you can clearly see where's the fairway, where's the rough. I like that, but you don't want to create backup for people looking for discs all the time either. So, so it's a balance.
And another point about trimming for an event, which we started doing RPM Open 2 years ago, is for the audience that's watching on TV. You have never been there. And if everything is just short grass, then it's not as easy to tell if it was a good shot or no.
Sure.
Unless the commentators tell you it's a good shot.
Or you have white stakes or something like that.
But I want to be able to just, okay, land it in a short grass. Even if you just trimmed like a circle landing zone or like a shape of something, and so then you both get it for the players. Okay, I want to land in the short grass, but also as a viewer on TV, which there are more viewers on TV than in person. So it's important for that also, I think. And then events, you have spotters, so you can tolerate more, I guess. So you will prioritize the fairways and greens, and it's vice versa in the casual, like everyday round. You want to go a little bit deeper into, so the bad shots are found.
Yeah, makes sense. I like that.
And I'm getting to the point where, and I can see that I'm influencing Paul a little bit on how close we go with the trimmers around trees, rocks, and everything. Like, how do you look at that? I like to bring out the rocks, you know.
Yeah.
If there's one strand of grass, I'm almost with the scissors.
Yeah. I like that as well. It really pops and looks cool. One thing that we're very strict about here, though, is because we have a lot of people working here with maintenance during season, and that is don't go too close to the trees because you don't want to touch the bark with the trimmer, basically. Because that would be a disaster if the tree dies, basically, because that's usually a huge part of the design of the hole. So in that sense, I usually rather have more grass around the trees than being too close. Maybe I call you and you bring your scissors. That would work. But
it depends on the trees also. Like an old pine tree has very thick bark, so it can take some string along it. And at our place, many times there's lots of these blueberry bushes. And the first time I go with a trimmer with the blades to get it, because then I get a lot of dirt also. So you don't get that like kind of hill, and then it pops more. And then when you go with the string for the second time just to get the grass, then you're not really touching the bark the same way.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a big old oak tree or as you say, a red pine or something that has been there for several hundred years, that usually no problem. No.
But the smaller ones.
Yeah. For instance, you can see here for you guys at least, we have these string of trees close to the new glamping village there, and those have a not very thick. Do you say bark?
Yep.
Yeah, bark or bark.
Yep, bark.
Yeah, and that's where they get their nutrition for, and that's their veins basically. So if you mess that up, then it's a goodbye.
Yeah, but also like knowledge of trees and birch trees. In May and June, in the olden days, they took all the bark off, like big sections of bark, and they used that as the first layer of the roofing of the old wooden log cabins.
Never.
10 layers of the never, So those trees can take it, and then they build stronger, but only during May and June. You shouldn't, if you do it outside of this period, then they might be damaged. So knowledge of trees is also like know your trees.
Exactly. Yeah. It kind of helped. I worked 11 years as a gardener, basically, or garden entrepreneur. So I've been building and building gardens and planting trees and stuff like that for a lot of years, and then 7 years as an environmental consultant. So I have a great background actually to work on a disc golf course, which is pretty cool. So I'm very thankful for that. I didn't know that I was going to use that in this kind of project in the future, of course. But I'm very glad I did work with those things, because it really helps out with what I do today. So.
Yeah. Makes you a high-value course manager, man.
I suppose, yeah. Hope so.
Yeah, you would be impossible to replace. We need more of you.
You and I both, I suppose. Stian also.
Yeah.
Very replaceable.
So my next note here is equipment and tools. We touched a little bit on it. You mentioned you had some robotic mowers.
Yeah.
What else? What kind of tools do you have and use?
Well, we have, talking about mowers, we have the robots, as we talked about. I think we have 4 or 5 here. 4, I think. And then we have, I don't know the word for it, the mowers that you sit on.
Okay,
sit on mower.
Sit on mowers. We have one small and one big.
You can make up words. I do it all the
Sure,
time.
We're constantly doing it.
Makes sense, yeah. So one small and one big of those, and then of course handful of trimmers and everything else you need, rakes and shovels and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into every detail, I suppose. But then we have one of these. In Swedish we call it a toad and padda, where you. What's that called in English?
Jumping. We call it hoppetussa.
Yeah, you flat the ground basically. Yeah, exactly.
Pats down on the
those are very useful as well, especially if you're building tees where you have just a wooden frame and then the gravel or the sand
right.
and then the turf over that. Some places we do have that. Some places we have the wooden tees. Some places even concrete with turf on top. So it's a little bit.
Maybe also if you want like fast landing zone where you want skip, or fast green, or parts of the green where you want it to be faster, then oh, that's nice. Have like a fast part of the green and then a slower part of the green.
And then a tombstone green.
On the same green.
Yeah.
Like cake slices of cakes.
What would Eli say?
He will probably put in the comments.
He will probably say no.
No, this is he just has a section has to be fair. Then you can mess up the players on the rest of the part of the green.
Yeah, a 33-degree slice should be fair. Or did he say 40%?
67% messing with
He'll
you.
let us know.
Well, we have this kind of. It looks like the Simon Says game. You know that game?
Oh yeah.
Down on the driving range. It looks like.
Oh, is that what they were playing? Maybe when we drove in last night.
They can kind of throw and try to land on the different sections there.
Ah, that's what that is. Brilliant.
Yeah, pretty fun.
Here's a guy with a trimmer now.
And then exactly. Gustav is out doing his stuff.
Hello, Gustav.
Hello. And speaking about that, the big toad, vibrating toad.
Toad? Why a toad?
Because it hops. It like.
Okay.
Maybe.
Very intense toad.
Yeah.
But and then. Have you talked about the tic-tac-toe, or as we call it, the disc-tac-toe?
Yeah, so you've got 3 baskets lined up in rows, so 9 total baskets.
Exactly. So
and from a short distance, you throw it and try to make the 3 in a row.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very creative. We played last night. It was a load of fun.
It is fun, and you can see a lot of beginners there as well. I mean, it's easy to hit 9 baskets in one, I suppose. So it's great fun there too. And it's inspiration from Kippis, actually, our colleagues in Finland. They have a similar situation going on.
You've heard from him, Mr. Kippis.
And there also we have a big turf area in front of it, where you throw from. So there we also used
the toad.
And then we have 3 stations: one blue, yellow, and white, which represents the difficulty of the courses. So the blue is the shortest. And yellow and white, so there's a thought behind that as well.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. And then Mr. Michael from Switzerland has made a cool,
Frame. Or
all the
yeah.
all the what's the word for that thing on top?
Yeah, like a
Ornament, maybe.
yes,
Yeah.
ornamentation around to frame the baskets makes it look complete.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
So I usually me and another colleague of mine usually do the groundwork with all the wooden, like the frames and the staircases and everything like that, and he puts the ornament up and gets all the credit. but
But
I
you're
was-
Not
actually
anymore.
building it or making it stand up.
yeah, a little bit
and-
like that.
and last.
But that's what it's all about. I'm all for that because it's. I mean, what he makes makes it pop in a way and makes it grammable, as we say. and
Instagram, yeah,
and
yeah.
the things he makes is very 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 beautiful. So I really don't mind it, but it's pretty fun.
Those little details really connect with players and
Yeah,
it
exactly.
creates a memorable experience. And
Yep.
I think that's one of the things that sets all apart.
So now we're at the point where I ask you a question and I go and check the battery status and you answer the question while I do that.
Cool.
So the question is,
And it's only slightly awkward if you're watching on YouTube, and you wouldn't know
no.
on Spotify or Apple.
So now I'm putting down my big microphone and asking the question. So how do you trim greens? Is there a difference in how you trim greens and fairways or do you use different kind of tools? Go.
Well, the short answer I think is no. Really, we don't have the same process as they do in ball golf, for instance, where you want one kind of grass for the green and one for the fairway. It's not that important to here, I feel like, in our sport, since we travel in the air. But for instance, we talked about the green of 18 here, where we have the logs around it. That means it's kind of hard to go in there with the sitting lawnmowers.
Right.
And also a little bit too big area to do the trimming on. So there we actually have the classic hand-driven lawnmower that we use for that green. So that differs a little bit, I suppose. But other than that, I would say no. Maybe that we cut the grass, for instance, on the green of 18 a little bit more often than out on some of the fairways, just to keep that shorter. If that answers your questions a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. Do you have some greens or areas where you cut the grass shorter in landing zones or fairways?
Well, maybe that's the same answer, that maybe we keep it shorter for a longer period of time because we cut it more often. I think that we don't really change the height of the mowers depending on where we are that often, I would say. So not
But I think it could be something, or it's something to think about on when we were saying earlier that trimming and maintenance also is a part of design. That you might want to keep it either longer to prevent the skip or shorter to enable the skip. Maybe.
Yeah. Although I feel like it's usually it's more depending on the weather in one way, maybe. I mean, you can always take it to the extreme, and then there are quite big differences. If you, for instance, go to ball golf again and look at those greens, they're very extreme. I don't feel like it's necessary for us to go there. I mean, building a ball golf green costs, $100,000 or something like that. It's very much that
Couple
goes
of
into
disc golf courses, yeah.
yeah, and I mean, it's not worth it in that aspect, I would say.
Yeah.
But of course, you can work even more with that kind of thinking process, I guess, trying to keep areas different type of grass, different kind of thickness and height and everything. I'm not sure disc golf is there now.
No, I haven't really thought about it until you mentioned it earlier, like different and just. Well, I've thought about like how can we create disc golf rough, or is there even such a thing? but that's also a topic for another episode. But on that, maybe like the length and how. But then we're also back maybe a little to be what Eli mentioned, that the green and the design of the green starts with the approach shot. And I never thought about it in that way until he said it. Like, it depends. Are you coming in with a touchy putter, or is it a 450 par 3?
Yeah.
Or are you coming in with a driver? Then the design of the green and what you're supposed to miss or what you're supposed to hit is different.
Yeah. I mean, that's always the where you get your pros when you are a far thrower, you know. Then you know if you have it, say you have a 200 meter long hole, and I throw it 110 meters, let's say, and I have 90 meters left. Let's say that I throw 80 meters instead. Let's say that I throw 80 meters. I have 120 meters left. That means I probably need to go for a driver for my second throw to hit the green. If you compare to people throwing it 160 at the first throw, they can just pitch up with a gummy putter, then they know that it's going to sit where it hits, basically. So that's one aspect of it. And I feel like there are plenty of holes here. For instance, hole 12, which is my favorite hole at all of Ale, on the white course. You have a multiple shot choice from tee, where you go around a number of trees in the middle, and you have a pond that is dried out now because it's very dry here at the moment. There you can choose from doing the safe shot from tee, like a 90 meter throw, would make your second throw somewhat above 100 meters, I would say like 115 maybe. Or you can do the aggressive throw from tee when you try like a backhand flex if you're righty, and have a shorter upshot instead. So that's a great example of that, how you want to design the course to make your players take those kind of decisions, and they can choose their decisions depending on what suits their game, basically. Do I want to make it harder from the tee or harder towards the green, basically? So if you're a good putter, then maybe you want to do the second part of that.
Yeah, I like watching a card, for example, play a hole like that, where you see different players approach it in different ways. So you're watching one card play the hole, but you see it played with different strategies like that. I think that's compelling for the viewer also, and the spectator.
And I think that is also where European disc golf excels a little bit towards, if you compare to a lot of the touring courses in the States, generalizing here, but there are a lot of bomber courses in the States compared to a little bit more technical maybe courses here in Europe, where you have more like landing zones and you have to lay the puzzle a little bit maybe, and that I really enjoy.
I feel like players enjoy that more and more now too, and now that the European swing is really happening and we're seeing Pro Tour players from the US show up here, I hear them saying this is my favorite part of the tour. And I think part of it is because they're playing these well-designed, fun courses like Ale, and because there's a little more dimension there with how they strategize and think up their game plan.
Yep. Yeah, I think so too. That especially when you have the tournaments where, like the Elite Series, for instance, is played on one course. You want it to be very versatile and very dynamic course that you need to show every aspect of your game. You have open shots, you have the wooden ones, you have putters, you have distance drivers, you have everything thrown at you in a way. Playing this course, which is I think what people really enjoy as well. And I do, at least.
Yeah, we sometimes hear that feedback from players at Lille Leland, that this was the first course they've actually used all the discs in their bag. I'm sure you hear that too, as feedback. It's fun to have to think, oh, well, mid-range driver, fairway driver, maybe a putter here, and I'm actually throwing all my discs.
Yeah, I think that's, if you compare it to, like, let's say the yellow course here, for instance, most of high-rated players usually use mid-ranges and putters for most of the throws, I would say. So it's a little bit different there.
Yeah.
My next note is space or room around the tee. And And I guess the question to you then would be, where does your trimming start? Where do you cut the grass? The tea area.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on if we're talking about the maintenance towards all open, for instance, and we want to make that area a little bit bigger maybe than we usually do because of all the crowd control. There's a lot of crowd here, and I mean, they need to know where they should stand and not stand in a way, so that helps a little bit with that. But in general, you know, it's not only experience with the throws, it's also an experience with your eyes when you come to places like this. You want it to look pretty and have the balance between being out in nature and feel like you're in a maintained park environment as well. So of course we want it to be tidy around the tees and the greens as well. But I mean, doesn't mean that every tee pad is shortcut everywhere you go at all. I mean, it's very tough to keep up that maintenance, I feel like, but it's what we want it to be, at least tidy, look nice.
Yeah, I think it's like almost the similar thing as when we talked about Rickard saying high-fiving on the tee for a good shot. That's a feeling you get on the tee. If you walk up to a tee, it's like when you drive in here, you see there's a basket by the road where you turn left, and then there's some signs. You're starting to bring people into that Ale experience and the spirit of Ale. And the same thing about the tee, and what you're saying, balancing nature, and because I've been telling Paul, I don't want it to be like where you feel nature is taking over.
Yeah.
It has to be in sync with nature. You kind of manicure nature's, and because we have a lot of ferns that grow really quick, and then you feel like you're in jungle all of a sudden. So I like that, to give a sense of space and breathing room, that you're not like cramped on the tee, you know.
Yep, I totally agree with that. It's a nice way you put it, and the feeling, as you say, is very important. You should approach a tee or walk up on a tee and be happy and feel like you're excited to throw, and that goes in for both the maintenance around it, but also the actual design. As we can jump back to the blind basket thing. If you walk up towards the tee and there's a high grasses around it maybe, and then you just have an uphill shot where you don't see where it ends, where the basket is, I'm not excited to do that throw usually. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll be like this instead of walking up to a well-maintained, cool built tee maybe, and you can just maybe see the basket in the far distance there and just be excited to watch the disc fly.
Yeah, I remember. Now I'm thinking that if your tee area is as important as the green, like that, you feel like you just want to sit down and take a moment on the tee because it's so beautiful there. We did this with our hole 16, the new white hole 16 at Lilleland, where there's this big rock in front of you. I just made a little bench with some logs and like easy peasy, but it's like nestled in between some oak trees. We brought them, like they pop out, and we trimmed real nice. There's a rock wall on the right. And then when I got back after trimming it, I had to spend some time there. I brought the drone just to marvel in how beautiful. And all I did was trim and take a few trees away and bring out that big rock. And then I remember Daniel from Bremen, he was staying at our place then, and I came back and I told him, also my wife Lena, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to share you, because I want to marry 16 now. I want to marry white 16. I want to mate with it. I want to live there. And then Daniel was like, what? And then he got all excited, and he took his drone and he went to look at my new future wife. And
That's nice.
That's funny, because I'm in love with hole 11.
There you go. There you go.
It's weird.
And your whole hair was 12, was it?
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
your
like
mistress?
Exactly, yeah. We can have a joint marriage party.
There's something there. When these thoughts and ideas and feelings and emotions start to pop in your mind, when all you're doing is like you're just deciding that now this is a tee area, this is a hole now.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you do trim a little bit, and then you feel like I don't want to leave.
Yeah, I liken it to the relationship an artist has with a painting.
Oh yeah, makes
You know,
sense.
and you just wow, look at what we did.
Look at my baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is a little
this
bit like
work
that.
of art.
And I like how you described it, where you kind of you don't want to leave, you want to hang out there a little bit, and that's something we also trying to find all the time here. I know Vincent talked about it as well in the pro shop here underneath where we sit now. We want a place to find places where to hang out. You have a group of sofa, and bar stools by the windows, and also where we sit up here, and finding places you can expand that, finding places all around the center where you can just chill out with your buddies, with your family, or just by yourself, just having a breather, soaking it in, and that is something that we have a little bit here and there out on the actual courses also, but something that we always try to find more and more places like that, just to feel that people are welcomed and can make a day or two out of it in a way.
I guess if you do it on every hole, you'll have backups like crazy.
Yeah,
But then people won't mind backups.
Yeah, because then you never leave. You just
Exactly.
get to your hole and then
I'm
you
over
stay
this
there.
pass.
And
yeah. We're
I'm good.
Exactly.
contemplating a new green on our hole 15, and once you would be up on this little ridge, you can see the lake below, and it's just a very beautiful place to enjoy the view. And we would want to do the same thing there, build a seating area
That's nice.
which would encourage people to actually stop for a moment and take it all in.
And let other groups pass.
Yeah.
But a little away from the green, so you can
Yeah.
sit there and be safe. And yeah,
That's nice. I like that. Looking forward to come and visit.
yeah,
nice.
you're invited in the fall, so
Yeah,
bring all
anytime.
the crew. And moving on, or not moving on, but building on Space Room around T, I wrote beautiful from all sides, trees, rocks, etc., and T-pads. And by that I think I mean, say for instance, I see you also have rock walls from farmers of old, like that you bring out, or a rock feature or something. That I want it to be so that when I go with my scissors, metaphorically, along one of these rock walls from farmers of old, and then when I do it on both sides, so when the player turns around just to look back at the tee, which you do sometimes, like especially the first time, okay, this is where I want to land, or this, then it's not like a western from 1875 village where everything is beautiful in the front and then the back is just crap.
Yeah.
So beautiful from all sides. Is that something you think about here, or?
Subconsciously, probably. Not as you describe it, I don't think. But I can't speak for everyone. There's a lot of people out there maintaining. But yeah, in general, I agree with you. It's just be like a 360 thing to keep it pretty. Of course, there are always going to be a back door or what do you say, if you look at a person, there's always going to be an underside of a foot
Yeah, right,
or whatever.
right.
Everywhere you go in every business, I think, and there are places like that here as well, of course.
But I think it's a good mindset to have,
Yeah, I agree.
like beautifying it from all sides.
It's interesting also in general when I go, for instance, when I'm going to play a tournament and I do a practice round or two, I almost always, especially when it's a new course for me, stand by the green and look towards the tee, because you look at the hole in a completely different way then,
Right.
and you can see trees or shapes that you don't really see from the tee, which can actually affect how you play the hole. And if it looks pretty, that's a plus as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like just we shouldn't give, or people should just be amazed, like finding little details, or just wherever I look, it's that wow factor,
Yeah.
strive, and that brings us to my next note. I wrote fit for a king. You have a king in Sweden?
Yes, we
Queen?
do. Monarchy.
Yeah, but he's alive still.
Barely. No, he's alive, yeah.
What do you feel
Yeah.
at home here at Alla? I feel like yes, because we're sitting on the roof of the pro shop, and we're overlooking the green of 18 and some fairways in the distance, and the trees are well trimmed up from the bottoms, and it looks almost garden like, and you know, a bit manicured. So
Royal.
if I'm a king, I'd feel quite at home.
Yeah. I think he would enjoy it. I know he likes his sports, but it's usually more the mainstream ones that he attends to, fortunately. But
But what do you think about that mindset, like fit for a king? I haven't told you, Paul, or what I haven't. I just thought of it and then I wrote it down.
well, yeah, I like the idea, but I also want to put it the other way. I feel like one of the big perks of disc golf, compared to traditional golf, for instance, is that it's a very low threshold in what's needed to be part of the community in a way, and it's very welcoming towards every people or every person who wants to be part of the sport. And I feel like that's maybe not the case in traditional golf all the time. So I feel like traditional golf is more aimed towards the royalty and the kings, and I feel like the disc golf is more towards your average Joe out there, and I feel like that's a good thing also.
Yeah, welcome peasants.
Exactly.
Come throw frisbees.
In a way, I think that's how it is, and I think also that's partly how it should be.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I totally agree, but I think what I meant by when I put fit for a king is what I think I was trimming the green on 11, and then I was kind of with the trimmers going, if I just, you know, like
just a little bit more.
Yeah, and short, it just and wow, this I want to take my time here, you know, just and wow, this is fit for a king. And then I thought, is that a mindset that I want on some parts, on some greens or around some tees? Like it's more like the something to strive for, not that it will a king approve or not. It's more that expression. Wow, now it's fit for a king. The king would use this toilet after I cleaned it. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So I get what you're saying. It's the course maintaining that is careful and thought out and slow and meticulous. And so I think I get where you're going.
We usually say like build it and they will come. There's a little bit of that in it as well. I feel like if you just put your heart and soul into something, then people will notice it and they will like it and they will come back.
Yeah.
That is partly of what you're saying, I think.
Yeah, we also say that, build it and they will come. Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I think that was
Field of Dreams, you said?
Swingers. I forget what movie exactly.
Monty Python? No.
It comes from somewhere.
A movie, maybe.
Probably.
My next is also between holes, paths. And this is something I've seen, especially here. You have some incredible bridges and like where you find crooked branches, you take the bark off, and that's how that then shapes the bridge or the railing of the bridge. And that's, I think, equally important, like the pathways, like between the holes. It goes into the total experience.
Yes, 100% agree, and you get like the whole package, and it's an experience. Even if you don't play disc golf, it should be an experience walking the course, you know. And I feel like that's we have achieved that in one way here, and I really like that. You can hear that every once in a while. You have, I don't know, a significant other of someone who's a disc golfer, for instance. So just I love coming here and just having a stroll in the forest and experience the Snäckebecken or the Shell Creek, as we translate it to. That runs through the entire facility. It's very pittoresque, I would say. And yeah, I agree that the experience is not only between the tee and the basket. It's from maybe from T1 to basket 18, if that makes sense then.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, there's no discussion then if we all agree.
Yeah.
Just make your paths look nice. Paths. And my next one is one I thought about. It was a little bit late in the day, and then I was not making it fit for a king.
Okay.
So I wrote. I have my phone, so I stop the trimming and I write notes because we have all these topics for episodes and stuff. And I wrote, be well rested and eat good. If you are tired, you tend to rush it and it becomes less good.
Yeah, well, I guess that applies to basically everything, but
Yeah,
agree,
but it's because I've sometimes you just want to get back to the house and have a beer or whatever, and or so don't go like take your take your time and make sure to eat well, and then only go for 2 hours and then break maybe, and then so that the quality, I don't know.
But yeah, I agree, and I'm fairly bad at that. I take very short and few breaks.
Same.
But so maybe it's good that you encourage me to do that a little bit more. I think, but it's also just you have so many ideas and so many plans in your head, and you're here for somewhat of a limited amount of time at least, so you want to make the most out of it. But yeah, in the long term, you probably gain those extra minutes in the long run if you just let yourself rest. And also it's a aspect of processing thoughts also. I think that is important, so you don't make any rash decisions, I guess.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Danny Lindell.
Smooth is far. But I get what you're saying.
Right.
Smooth, slow
is
is smooth.
and smooth
Just
is far.
end it right there. Slow is smooth.
Okay,
That's
I can do smooth,
Yeah.
like Kjell Leviska.
And it's so like,
Dr. Smooth.
long term, to make a project like this sustainable, it can't be 18-hour days every, it has to be thought out and planned out enough so that you're still happy at the end of the day. And,
Yep.
But
That's
it seems
for
like you're achieving it here. And it is quite amazing to visit Ala and see what you've done here.
And we're playing the courses today. Paul hasn't been here. This is his first course played in, or it's gonna be his first. You played blue yesterday, so you have played a course in Sweden.
And I ran
But
yellow.
yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay,
Because Eric, your colleague, your co-owner, he was putting on gym clothes and looked like real serious, like he was going for a run, and like he would, I'm playing yellow, and then Paul like, can I come? And like, yeah. And how many discs? Yeah, 2 discs. And then he didn't know what he was getting himself into. And then he came back 22 minutes later. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to try again because I didn't get to take in the holes or anything. We were running that course. I lost my ruler, but I kept up.
I never have played a course so fast. And it was a fun experience because I often complain that disc golf is too slow. Like, I'm a basketball player too, and in a sport like that, you only have time to react. You train so that you just react. And in disc golf, there's a lot of time between the basket here and walking to the tee to think about, shoot, I messed up there, and now what do I do? And all these thoughts you have to deal with.
One of the most difficult aspects of the sport, I would say.
Yeah. And so in a way, it took all that out of the picture. Just running up to the tee and throwing, and then running to the disc and throwing, and it was actually quite fun.
Yeah.
But I did play yellow, but did I?
Do you remember any of the holes?
Yeah, exactly.
I do. There was a few greens that I was like, okay, wow, Eli Swanson would love this. There's trees on one side.
Yeah.
There's, the fairway is fair, but it's sloping down and punishing over on this left side. There were aspects of the design I was like, wow, this is amazing. And
then
That's super fun. But we're looking forward to playing the white today and taking our time and contemplating things like design and maintenance. And so we'll take it in.
Yeah, remember to look back also on the hole.
Yeah.
From green to tee.
360.
Yeah, there you go. And bring the scissors.
Yeah. I have one sent in from, again, the Systad brothers. They've contributed before. It's a course across or like over the hill and then the next valley over from us. Also private course.
This is something we're doing on the podcast, including other voices.
He knows,
so
he's been voiced.
I know, I'm just telling the audience.
Oh yeah,
too.
you're looking at him, sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
So Paul now is looking at Simon, so go to the YouTube and...
It's something we're doing here on the podcast. Because Stian and I, we're subjective, just a couple of voices. We want to include you too, so send us comments, send us your perspective, share with us what you think about some of the topics that we've discussed. And even we're going back to the motivation episode. What motivates you? Why do you do it? What's inspiring to you? Share your thoughts about that too.
And now also the maintenance and upkeep.
Yeah.
What kind of scissors do you use?
Exactly. Yeah.
That
How
was
big
my
are-
introduction. Now, go ahead, share us with what you got here.
Perfect.
Because some people have sent in comments, and then we actually do read them and share them. on the next
Every
episode.
opinion is important, and that's how we improve.
Yeah.
And also how we improve as a team. Like who's the host, when to interrupt, when not to interrupt, when to allow the silence to be a tool for more conversation, etc. These are things we are constantly. It can always be better.
Yeah, we are learning too all the time.
Exactly. Syster Brothers, they write. Again, my friend has translated it. Not enough people pass through the area for the grass and vegetation to be naturally worn down by players. This means we have to do a fair amount of manual work using a trimmer, lawnmower and a pasture mower on a tractor. Oh, that's similar as we have, but more bigger. We've tried to design the fairways so they are easily accessible by tractor, both for mowing and for transporting equipment. In addition, we've had sheep grazing in the area every summer, which reduces the need for mowing. It's important to us that the fairways are tidy and easy to navigate. As disc golf players ourselves, we know how frustrating it is to lose discs you care about and be penalized with a rethrow because you can't find them. Good points.
Yeah. So, was there a question or was it?
No, this is just his, like we say, give us some words
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah.
maintenance and
Yeah,
upkeep.
yeah. I like the thoughts they had. It sounded wisdomy.
Yeah. Making up words.
Yeah, that's what we do
He's
here.
fitting right in.
Yeah. We might have to steal him from his other podcast.
We'll steal that word at least.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
Yeah, sure do.
Wis- Thank you.
But it's I like the aspect they bring up that is this a new course? Somewhat.
A year older than ours, so like 5 years, I think.
Yeah, quite new at least.
Yeah.
Speaking about not having as much traffic, who makes the rough easier to navigate, I guess, and we get a lot of help with that since there's very traffic courses here, that you can easily find your discs, most of the holes at least. And that surely helps, but it's also, as we talked earlier about, it's also part of maintaining, obviously. But it sure helps with a lot of people walking in the rough looking for discs.
Yeah.
It makes it easier for the next person.
Yeah, that's also something we've been, when we play and we throw multiple shots, so we play with others, they see, okay, this is a typical spot where a bad shot lands. Then we need to get on this and get the blueberry bushes and the ferns and stuff out, so the searching is limited, the amount of time, and just the player experience is important.
Exactly. Great example on hole 3 of All the Yellow, where we have a big oak staircase down from the fairway down to like a valley that is OB, is to help people get their discs easier.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Bad shots.
He's not alone. Yeah, and also some small wooden bridges out where it might be a little bit damp and so on, to just help people to
Spång.
yeah,
Spångar.
exactly. Spang it.
Spång.
Don't know, but
We're still working on that too because Leilon's still relatively new. There are some areas that are rough, and it's one of our focuses to help players find their disc and clean that up. Still make it sort of a difficult area that you want to try to scramble out of, but you're not spending a lot of time looking for your disc.
Yeah. And also one of the things that I'm yet to be there, but I've seen what it's about. It's a very much topography at Little Leland. They have downhill and uphills and stuff like that.
Some has had olive white on steroids.
Yeah. I can see that. And I'm guessing now that it's also a lot of future plans for steps and stairs. I'm guessing that's something that is would be bonus for a lot of places like Lilla.
Yeah.
Yep, escalators.
And zip lines.
Zip lines, yeah.
Yeah.
We actually talked about having that some kind of slip and slide, you know. That would be so fun.
Oh, that would be great.
We have that little one down from the tee on hole 1 goal.
Yeah, a little kids slide from the top of the pad, you know.
Yeah, we talked about having it down from hole 3, you know,
Alright.
our version of Top of the World, I suppose. But I guess there's...
That will be a wild party.
That would be
Invite me to that one.
yeah, sure. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
So I think my notes only have the one where when you've rested, you've eaten, and then you're starting on a hole. I think I told you, Paul, a couple of days ago that I like to start with the perimeter. Sometimes I would start with the green if I'm low on time, because then sometimes just the circle is enough. But if you start with the perimeter, it's going to look weird if you don't finish. Then you have to finish.
Yeah, whereas when I'm trimming, I'm just meandering in a random pattern.
This is true. I will put the drone over you at some point maybe and
Yeah,
see
just to
how...
show how
Time-lapse.
ridiculous it looks. But Stian, he's like, when you build a jigsaw puzzle, you put the frame out first, and now you have to fill in the rest.
I'm more a Stian processing kind of guy. Yeah.
And then once he's trimmed out the perimeter, now he has to finish this shape that he's created. He can't stop until it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's more how I do it as well, I think. And with the big lawnmowers as well, I usually do this way. And I let the robots do the lines.
Yeah, and also, speaking to our catchphrase, it can always be better. We always go a little wider. We never go, like if we trim this section and the grass is tall here, and then next time we only go to here, and then you have like tall and there could be if you want it to be that, but I like it more to just go.
So in a few hundred years you're here
Yeah.
fixing our courses.
But it's a good mindset, I think, just to go a little bit wider, and because then trimming on that section is easier the next time. It's faster. Use less string, and we use a lot of string.
Yeah, we do, and a lot of fuel for the trimmers.
Yeah. We have some goats on hole 14, but they are mainly just for, gotta have the goat.
Greatest of all time. Do you have a goat?
Yeah, his name is Johnson.
Of course. Shout out.
He's watching.
Obviously.
Yeah.
If it's the goat.
I think that's everything I had, but maybe since this is the inspiring thing about Ale, and what we also try to do is push the sport in a way that it sees that, we got to step it up to keep up. And you are doing that, like, it's almost in an American way, I would say, like it's just fast and big. Not big, but it's like, let's just do it, and wow, I love it. So, plans, do you have written down, or do you, Vincent, Eric, and now OTB people talk about where do you want to be for next year? What's your next year's plans, and what's your long-term plans?
Yes, we have.
If you can share.
Yeah, I can share the vision somewhat, I feel like, and we have a program that's called Trello, which is very good at keeping lists digitally for us. So we have one platform for the white course, one for the yellow course, one for the blue course, one for the center, and one for the actual business company as well. So there's a lot of lists, and then we have a short-term fixed list, and then a long-term idea backlog list, and so we have a lot of ideas. I can tell you that, I mean the long term is to be the best facility that we can be, and hopefully that is the best disc golf destination in the world. That's what we're striving towards, and some people say that we're there. I feel like we can always be better. So that's what we're trying to find, those things to fill out the blanks, I suppose. And And now we've had a Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite Series. We want to try out majors in the future, and see if that's possible on our facility. Exactly what and when and how, we'll see, but something we're striving towards. Yeah, and just keep on adding cool details to the courses and to the shop and to everything around. We want it to be like a full experience, as we talked a little bit about. I think that we're getting there. We want people to come and just always have something to do, and people to meet, and so on.
I want to speak a little bit to that, because since last time I was here, you've added some tents. So you can stay here, you've added some, you can stay with your camper van or your pull behind trailer or whatever it's called. What's it
Caravan.
Called? Caravan. And we also have some of that. But I've never tried the experience, obviously, at our place. Lena and Felix, they slept in the tent when it was a little bit cold to see if the duvets were like warm enough and stuff, so they could, because she usually gets colder than I do.
They survive.
But now we came here yesterday around 7:30 or something, which we agreed was not the afternoon.
Exactly.
And me, Paul, and Casper and Felix, my two kids, and immediately they were like just doing whatever. Now I haven't seen them for a couple of hours. Maybe they were gonna play blue and on the drive, but maybe they found yellow, I don't know. And that's fine. And just waking up or going to bed first, like with the lights in the tent, like super nice. It was this how you can stand up in the tents. It's nice and clean. And
IKEA beds.
IKEA beds, very Swedish, very cozy, mysigt, and just kids falling asleep like almost while they were talking about disc golf or whatever, and me and Paul kind of getting sleepy. Went to bed, and then we wake up at 8. I'm waking up because we were doing this podcast, and then Felix looks at me and like, and he's already running out with no clothes on. Well, he had pants maybe, I think, and it was warm, and went out and threw some discs. Now they're, like I said, wherever. But just that experience of waking up on the course, which we do every day, but we live there. But doing it here as a disc golf tourist is, you kind of get that feeling, especially when the weather is nice, that you don't want to leave. Like, it's just, for me and Paul is 50, I'm 46, soon 50. Kids are 8 and 9, and we talked about it yesterday. We have the same joy of like, wow, we're at an amazing place. And I asked Paul, is there theme parks? Is there anything that gives us that same childlike joy as the kids has? Is there anything that can bring out that out there? Probably is, but I couldn't think of anything. And we're not experiencing the joy because we see the kids have fun, which is usually what you do with it. But we all like kids. Like, Paul was, I want to go play, and then he ran the course. But still, like it's.
Yeah, that's huge.
You're onto something. So.
That's very, very nice words, and I love how you describe that, and I'm happy to hear. That's what we're striving towards, I suppose.
So
disc golf is for everyone.
Book your stay at Alle. That's, I mean.
Airbnb, if you want to try out the glamping tent.
And cheap, also for us coming from Norway.
Sure.
Cheap groceries. We get the mayo with the lemon in it.
Yeah, that's an acquired taste.
He didn't like it.
Fair enough.
I always get a liver pate. I have that at home, and then the mayonnaise with lemon and pepper salami.
It sounds specific.
The breakfast of champions.
In Sweden, it's my Sweden thing. I remember I bought it when me and Jakob Semrad and Mate Verl stayed in a small cabin at what was it called? Hitland? No, not Hitland Open. It was close to Karlstad. I don't remember. It was a Euro tour on a ski. It doesn't matter. Some years ago when I started recording The Magic of Disc Golf. But that's when I started with the mayonnaise. Maybe
Let's
we
do it.
end it soon, or
I like it. I'll try it sometime.
are we allowing this to continue into just more blabber, or are we?
Well, we could come to a close. We really appreciate you spending time with us. We know you're busy out here, making this one of the best disc golf destinations in the world, and we've got to go play the white course.
Yeah, lunch first maybe, and find the kids maybe.
So thanks
Or-
for joining us on another fantastic episode of the Halfway Cafe. We thank Simone for being with us. It's Stian Jonsson, I'm Paul Black, and remember,
It can always be better.
that's how we end the episode.
Perfect.
Love it.
Appreciate you.
I forgot to ask if you wanted to add something, but
It's okay.
We got
Could
it.
always get better.
what did you mean by
Next
that?
time.
No, I enjoyed it.
Thank you so
guys.
much.
It was, my pleasure.
Brilliant.